Meghan's escape. The air in the underground cages was thick with filth, sweat, and despair. The stench of unwashed bodies, and the waste clinged to the damp stone walls, pressing down on Meghan like a weight she had long since learned to bear. The cage was overcrowded, girls packed together like cattle, their bodies bruised, broken, and starving. Some were younger than her, others were older, their spirits already shattered. Meghan sat in a corner, her back against the rusted iron bars. Her once tight curl had long since twisted into knotted, unkempt dreadlocks, framing her face hardened by survival. Her arms, her legs scarred, bruised. She had fought for everything in this place, food, space, and even breath. The clothes on her back had been the same for God knows how long, stiff with dirt and blood. She exhaled slowly, trying not to think, trying not to feel, but the thoughts always came back. How the hell did I get here? Why am I still here? When the night fell, they were thrown in thin, state blankets. Meghan pulled over her shoulders, and curled up in the corner, staring into the darkness. Her bones ached from exhaustion, but sleep was always a gamble. Still, it took her. At first she dreamed of sunlight, a strange, unfamiliar warmth on her skin, grass beneath her feet, and the sky stretched out before her, a vast, endless blue. It was peaceful, free. She breathed in deeply, feeling like she hadn't felt it in years. Then the ground crumbled beneath her. She fell, plummeting into darkness, chains rattled in her ears, shackles dragging, metal scraping. Her breath hitched as she tried to scream, but nothing came out. A figure appeared before her, seated on a throne of a black stone, a woman draped in shadows. Her whole eyes were hollow and white. Meghan's chest tightened as a figure leaned forward. She thought she could escape. Her mouth opened, but before she could speak, a sharp ringing pierced her ears. She jolted awake. Meghan gasped, her heart hammering against her ribs. She gritted her teeth, gripping a blanket in her fist. Someone was crouched in front of her. Ronnie. His face was tense, eyes glassy, fish clenched at his sides. He looked like he had been crying. "What the hell are you staring at?" Meghan muttered, her voice hoarse. Ronnie hesitated, his voice bobbing as he swallowed. "Meghan, I can't take this no more." Meghan narrowed her eyes. "Take what no more?" Ronnie clenched his jaw. His voice shook. "Ice ain't got no right doing this to you." Meghan scoffed, looking away. "What the hell are you talking about? This is where I'm supposed to be, right?" "No," he snapped, his voice firm finally. "No, it ain't it." Meghan shot him a glare, but Ronnie didn't back down. "You know who your daddy is?" His voice raw. Meghan's jaw tense. "No." Ronnie exhaled, shocked, with his head. "Brother, and he be looking for you." Her stomach twisted. Marcus. She had heard that name whispered before, but it never meant anything to her. It was just a word. Ronnie's voice cracked. "I told him about you." Meghan froze. Her heart skipped a beat. "You what?" "I told him, Meghan. I told him where you at." Ronnie admitted, his eyes burning with guilt. I can't let this keep happening. It ain't right." Meghan felt her pulse in her throat. Her hands curled in a fist. "You're lying." "I'm not." Her body stiffened. If Marcus knew where she was, why hadn't he come? Ronnie pressed his forehead against the bars, voice dropping into a whisper. "I'm getting you out of here." Meghan stared at him, mind racist. She didn't know what to say. What was she supposed to say? He pulled out his teeth. Before she could protest, he unlocked the cage. The door creaked open, and suddenly the air felt different. "Come on," Ronnie urged. Meghan hesitated, glancing at the other girls. They stared back, silent, hollow. None of them moved. None of them believed escape was real. She swallowed hard and stepped forward. Ronnie led her through the corridors, keeping low, keeping silent. Meghan could barely breathe. The closer they got to the surface, the tighter her chest felt. Then they reached the exit. A metal door rusted, dented. Sunlight peeked through the cracks. Ronnie turned to her, gripping her shoulders. Listen to me. Go to the resistance. They'll help you. Meghan didn't move. He shoved her towards the door. Go! Meghan flinched as she pushed open the door. Daylight hit her like a slap to the face. She stumbled onto the sidewalk, blinking hard, vision swimming. It was too bright. The air was too fresh. She hadn't been outside in years. She turned back, eyes burning, but the door slammed shut. Ronnie was gone. Meghan stood there, stunned. Her body was tense, like she expected to be dragged back, but nothing happened. Her breathing was unsteady as she turned forward. Just keep walking. Her feet moved on instinct, guiding her through the streets. She kept her head low, dreadlocks hanging in front of her face. People barely glanced at her. She was just another lost soul in the city. Eventually, she reached the gated building. She hesitated at the entrance, scanning the area. It looked like a warehouse turned headquarters, a hub of some kind. The word of resistance echoed in her mind. A woman hurried past her, arms full of folders. She barely made it to the car, and the stack slipped from her grip, paper scattering across the pavement. Meghan's body moved before her mind did. She crouched down, scooping up the papers. The woman, tall, with sharp eyes and an air of authority, froze and looked at Meghan. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then the woman asked, "Who are you?" Meghan exhaled, ripping the papers. "Meghan?" The woman studied her, her eyes softened. "Come inside," she said. "You look like you need something to eat." Meghan hesitated, then she nodded. And just like that, she took her first step towards freedom. Question: would you read this? Let me know in the comments.